So, not long to wait before the Doctor's arrival here on BBC One. But what's in store in his new dimension? The build-up begins now as we go behind the scenes of something very special.
Join us in the countdown to the unveiling of the new Doctor. With the Doctor about to burst on our screens, our cameras went behind the scenes to witness the launch of the new series.
The brand new series.
I thought it was brilliant.
There was a bit of everything. There was a bit of drama, romance, humour.
After 8 months of filming, the new series was shown to an expectant press, and our cameras were there to gauge their reaction.
It's been my life for 8 months. I've done nothing else.
The man in the TARDIS hot seat is Christopher Eccleston, who has brought the Doctor back to life after 9 years of time travel away from our screens. And with a new Doctor comes a new assistant.
It has actually been one massive adventure, this show.
Now we're in trouble.
As the filming for the new series draws to a close, Russell T Davies, the man responsible for bringing back the Doctor, can finally pause for breath.
It is the thing I am most proud of in my entire career. I absolutely love this show, and I hope you do too.
And Russell is no stranger to the small screen.
I return to the city, soon to become a legend.
I've heard a few, but then again, they're good to mention.
Oh, yes. It's not like I had a choice. I was born like this.
If you're the Almighty, then it's all your idea.
Hands up anyone who thinks you've got it right.
I admire him so much, Russell, as a writer, and that's why I'm here doing Doctor Who. It's because of Russell.
And action!
Bringing the Doctor back was daunting for fans old and new.
When I got the part of Rose, as great as it is to be part of the Doctor Who history, it's also quite scary.
I don't think either of us will ever have a show like this again, because there is just something about the words Doctor Who that bring people alive.
Light up, as if you have...
Chris, as one of our finest actors, brings so much new to the part, and for a whole generation of kids watching, there's going to be a completely new Doctor that's going to be absolutely theirs. That generation will own him.
The last time the Doctor was seen on our screens, Paul McGann was in control of the TARDIS.
I quite like him. He's a bit like a puppy. Sort of runs around, yapping and sniffing at anything with a bottom.
In the 1990s, as men behaved badly on our televisions, Paul McGann behaved impeccably as the 8th Doctor.
I shall prove to you the Eye of Harmony is open. Look at this.
Yes.
You see already the molecular structure of the planet is changing.
I'm going to need an ambulance as soon as possible. This is Dr. Grace Holloway.
At first in subtle ways, but soon in catastrophic ways.
As the 90s drew to a close, no one knew what was in store for the Doctor in the new millennium.
Millennium Bug.
Millennium Bug.
Millennium Bug.
The Millennium Bug.
Paul McGann comes along, and it's on Millennium Eve. It's set on December the 31st, 1999. And actually, it's quite fun. At the end of a century, you get a costume that's actually a distillation of what you imagine Doctor Who to be. It's foppish and Edwardian and old-fashioned, and it's a beautiful, beautiful costume. And it's like the Doctor summing up himself at the end of the century there.
It's in a cubbyhole above the P.
God, why a police box?
Its cloaking device got stuck on a previous misadventure. I get like this.
I thought he was full of heart, full of warmth. I thought he was charismatic, he's funny, he's gentle, and there are certain moments in there that I think are some of the best moments of Doctor Who ever made.
And 9 years on, the Doctor is back.
Right then, Rose Tyler, you tell me, where do you want to go? Backwards or forwards in time? It's your choice. What's it going to be?
Forwards.
If Doctor Who's going to work, then let's go for it.
Hold on.
Let's send him into the far future and have spaceships and a million monsters, and, you know, we live or die by that.
It's not long before Rose gets her first taste of alien life.
I've had my chin completely taken away, and look at the difference. Look how thin I am. Quick.
And even the humans look different.
It's gone with the planet about to explode. At least it'll be quick. Force field.
The thing with aliens in Doctor Who is there's a danger of relying on them visually. To just think if we just roll them in with 3 heads, that's enough. It isn't. They all have a relationship with the Doctor and with Rose, and there are opportunities for great actors to come in and do great things for the series.
Ladies and gentlemen, and trees and multiforms, the lady, Cassandra O'Brien, Delta 17.
Cassandra is the last human and is effectively a bit of stretched skin on a frame with a mouth and eyes, voiced by Zoe Wanamaker.
My father was a Texan. My mother was from the Arctic desert. They were born on the Earth, and they were the last to be buried in its soil.
We were wondering when we first read the script how we were going to achieve her. And I think as conversations with the executives and the writer, Russell T. Davies, sort of went on, they wanted something very high quality. She had to be really good. So the only way we could actually do her is to make a fully CGI animated character. And she appears for about 4 minutes in the 45-minute episode of screen time, which is quite a lot.
How many operations have you had?
708. Next week, it's 709. I'm having my blood bleached. Is that why you wanted a word? You could be flattered.
The Doctor's taken on many forms, with a trio of time travellers in the 80s alone. As records became CDs and notes became coins, the change from Baker to Davison held no barriers for Peter.
I always likened playing Doctor Who as playing in the street, you know, when you're a kid, where you fantasize about saving the universe. And suddenly, you know, at the age of 29, or whenever I started playing the part, there I was, actually saving the universe every week. It was fantastic.
Peter Davison, it's sort of a preppy look, because the early 80s, it's a little bit studenty. I mean, he wears sneakers. I think he's the first Doctor ever to wear sneakers, and they're quite funny trousers. It's the sort of thing students would have worn, possibly on a rag week.
Haven't you got that thing started yet?
Give us a chance, Mike.
Yeah, we've made some toast.
While the young ones were amusing and Pat was posting, this bleached blonde Doc was pushing the boundaries as Doctor number 5.
I came up with the idea for my outfit, which was nice stripy trousers and sort of beige, nice. It was a vision in beige, really. And I thought it looked rather silly until I saw Colin Baker's outfit.
As EastEnders moved into Albert Square, Colin Baker moved into the TARDIS.
This is Perry, my assistant.
Hi.
Only the two of you? Yes, travelling light this time. Besides, so difficult to recruit good staff these days, don't you agree?
With a costume louder than Live Aid, his Doctor was blonde and curly, mean and moody.
We're heading towards the middle 80s, and then, you know, if you look back and see photographs of yourself in the 80s, they're absolutely terrible, and we all look shocking. And there's Colin Baker in the loudest, most colourful, most 1980s fashions you could possibly have.
They wanted me to be totally tasteless, so I had a totally tasteless costume.
99 red balloons slowly.
I was kind of saddled with something that hadn't been my choice. The only good thing was I was on the inside of it looking out. It was somebody else's problem to have to look at it.
From the TARDIS to the Titanic, phones to filofaxes, the 80s generation was upwardly mobile. But by 86, Baker was down and out. to be replaced by Doctor Number 7. As Voyager boldly went where no other craft had been before, our Gallifreyan globetrotter was now Sylvester McCoy.
What are you expecting to find down here anyway?
The unknown.
Oh, isn't that a bit dangerous then?
Probably. But then if I knew what was down here, I wouldn't have to look.
As the late 80s settled down, then you get Sylvester McCoy. And it's a bit eccentric, it's a bit more practical. There's duffel coats, it's sort of ordinary jackets. The whole Doctor image calms down, actually, then, as fashion was calming down, I think.
When I went for the interview, I arrived, it was a sunny day, and I had my hat, my straw hat on that way, turned up. I think that's one of the reasons why I got Doctor Who.
The end of the 80s signalled a temporary end for Doctor Who. In the year of falling walls and falling viewing figures, McCoy battled bravely to keep Doctor Who afloat.
I shot episode 1, and that was set in the present. And there was aliens. First ingredient of Doctor Who, the aliens. Action! When we got to episode 2 and we suddenly transported into the future, I realised that was another element. This is the day the sun expands. Welcome to the end of the world. And then in episode 3, with Dickens, we went to the past, and by then I was getting to know the territory.
And set an 8.
In Swansea, our cameras went behind the scenes to see what it takes to create a genuine Dickensian drama.
There's a beat request that I need from you, which is
And I was born in Swansea and always, as a little schoolboy, loved Doctor Who and used to walk around dreaming of Doctor Who being in Swansea, and now it's actually here and it's not the episode I wrote, which is like so close and yet so far.
It seems so unreal. I never really thought it was happening. It seems like a strange dream because I've waited, honestly, all my life to do this. And I was quite overwhelmed for a few moments. I had a few tears. It was like, I got the kind of Saturday night feeling again. First time, I don't know how long, it just felt amazing. And it was not only I was watching Doctor Who being made, I was watching my Doctor Who being made.
This is when I'm glad I'm not an actual producer. As I'm an executive producer, and this time Phil is the producer, and that's hard work. On a night like this, when it is the wind is blowing and the snow's not putting down and we're late, that's when being a producer is a nightmare, because you're just looking at your watch and looking at money, and that's where I can swan off. And at midnight, I'm off. It's like they're here till 4 a.m, and I'm going to go, yeah, thank you, bye.
It's always very complicated, but it's doubly so tonight, because we've got special effects, we've got horses and carriages, we've got something like 70 extras all in period dress this evening as well, and so it's an enormous thing to coordinate. Terrifying.
Here we go. Stand by then, and action!
It's not 1860, it's 1869.
I don't care.
And it's not Naples.
I don't care.
It's Cardiff.
Right.
Cut.
Part of the fun of the series is each time you turn on at 7 o'clock, you just don't quite know where you're going to be, past, present, future.
Oh, that's just not fair.
With such a heritage, how will the press take to Doctor Number 9?
Who are you?
Told you, the Doctor.
Yeah, but Doctor what?
Just the Doctor.
The Doctor.
Hello.
Everyone seemed to have such extraordinary goodwill towards the show. I mean, the excitement in the room was wonderful, and it was just a really special moment to just make you realise why Doctor Who seems to be so important to people. It just has this resonance.
With the press screening in Cardiff over, episode 1 has set the room alight.
All English to do with it.
really does.
I'm stunned. I can't see. I knew this was going to be a big deal. I've seen clips of it before, but I wasn't quite prepared for how pacey, how funny, how exciting it was. There was a moment in there when I discovered that I literally was on the edge of my seat.
You got a cat?
No.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a hit.
And what did they make of the new Doctor?
Chris is definitely a Doctor for the 21st century.
He's grungy, he talks from the north. There's this great line, he's got his Manchester accent where Billie says if you're an alien, how come you talk like you're from the north? And he says...
Lots of planets have a north. They've always been quite posh, really, I think, the Doctors. They've always been a bit eccentric.
There's always been something of the time about the Doctor. Whatever actor is playing it, there's been something of that era in which the show was transmitted.
Back in the 70s, John Pertwee's Doctor was the original Inspector Gadget. While T-Rex glammed up rock, Pertwee glammed up the Doc, setting the platform for a whole new generation of Doctor Who fans.
They ought to play games, don't we?
I'm quite spry for my age, actually.
Oh, can I have a go? Terrific.
John Pertwee comes along then, and it is Jimi Hendrix. The look is absolutely Hendrix, the frilly shirts, the velvet jackets. You know, it's assimilating the early 70s perfectly into a really sort of Jason King, Jimi Hendrix type image, which works perfectly for that man.
While Jimi Hendrix played his six-string and George Best tugged at heartstrings, Pertwee drove, hovered and flew his way into the 70s.
In life, he was also a tremendous adventurer. He skied, he used to dive for treasure and motorbikes, car racing. John did all those things, so there was a little bit of the Doctor in John.
You better beware, you better take care, you better watch out if you got long black hair. You come from behind, you go out of your mind, you better not go, you never know what you'll find.
In the decade of hoppers and choppers, John Pertwee was full of flair, cutting a dash as Dandy Doctor number 3.
Funny thing is, they left a lot of valuable and top secret stuff behind. Here's a list of all they actually took.
Just what you need for the control circuitry of one powerful, compact technological device. A disintegrator gun, for instance.
Tom Baker comes along, I think, maybe life's getting a bit more bohemian then, a bit more eccentric, a bit more free-for-all. There's a lot more freedom I think, in Tom Baker's portrayal and in the clothes that he wears, so maybe that suits the age.
From the goodies to the good life, Citizen Smith to the Silver Jubilee, viewers were in for a right royal treat in the 70s.
Looking back on Doctor Who, is that it was the best thing that absolutely ever happened to me. It was simply wonderful.
While Borg was charming centre court, Tom Baker took centre stage, becoming the longest-serving Doctor to date. But some things never change.
There was a kind of different level of energy on the set the day of the Daleks.
Oh, he's lovely.
Grown men, you know, with a gleam in their eye because of these pepper pot, these things, you know.
When I meet people, the first thing they say is, A, they hid behind the sofa when the Dalek came on, and B, the music really freaked them out as well. And I understand how big of a deal this episode is. It's something that everybody will remember, so not much pressure.
It is my pleasure to introduce to you all the finest, the brightest, the meanest, the strongest, the very best of the world.
The new look may be good, but underneath, it's still all bad.
This is Big Bro. Take taking over the show. You need to listen up and feel this. 'Cause we go quick, make them hits and snaps and chips with this.
In years to come, everyone's going to say Christopher Eccleston, that was the man, Doctor Who.
And he's gorgeous, gorgeous.
There's a strange man in my bedroom.
Yes, there is.
He is quite dishy, so I think the mums will like him for that reason. I think the kids will think he's sort of dashing and heroic, and you know, he's a great actor. He's got great depth and breadth, and he's obviously done the sort of Hamlet end of the spectrum, but he can do Doctor Who.
There was a bit of everything. There was a bit of drama, romance, humour, and the humour bit was brilliant as well.
Oh, could have been worse. Look at the ears.
Chris has a reputation for being very serious, and yet when he did an episode of The League of Gentlemen, and he said, "I'm so glad you've asked me because I'm sick of people thinking I'm invisible."
Kenny Harris, as I live and breathe. Just in time to see the unveiling. Mr. Griffin, would you oblige?
Ruddy Nora.
Ever since Doctor Who was first on our screens, this gentleman has been in a league of his own.
We'll show him whether this is a time machine or not.
Way back in the decade of revolution, when the BBC saw double, the world was changing fast as a new generation of broadcasters set sail.
We're going to do the thing right here with the improviso on Caroline South.
In a time of groundbreaking shows and hip-shaking sounds, William Hartnell became top of the dogs.
Welcome to January the 1st, 1964. It's 6:34 p.m. and it's a programme that you've never heard of before.
Brusque, but never brisk, this doddering doctor became the nation's favourite grandad from Gallifrey.
William Hartnell, the very first Doctor, who created this show that was only going to run for 6 weeks. He arrived, this grumpy, old, mysterious, wonderful character. I think he softened a bit as he played it. He's the founding father, and we revere him.
But times, they were a-changing. And when Hartnell preferred retirement to time travel, it was up to Patrick Troughton to take up the mantle of this maverick Time Lord.
You get William Hartnell. He's an old, authoritative grandfather, which very much suits the early 60s. Patrick Troughton comes along, and the most brilliant thing about him is that he's got a Beatles haircut. It is literally a Beatles haircut. If that doesn't say late 60s to you, I don't know what does.
While Twiggy twisted the night away and the first man landed on the moon,
Liftoff. We have a liftoff. 32 minutes past the hour. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
the second man in the TARDIS was taking off in style.
When I say run, run.
If I had to put my hand on my heart and say, OK, excluding yourself, who's your favourite Doctor? I would have to say him, because of my memories of that transformation, of being appalled that somebody else is going to play the Doctor, of realising later that in the hands of a less skillful character actor than Patrick Troughton, that would have been the end of the series.
Yes, it's all right. All or nothing. Yeah, yeah. All or nothing. Come on. Hot, yeah. All or nothing.
This colourful character ended the 60s on a high, and Doctor Who would never be seen in black and white again.
If I had a colour television set, I wouldn't want anything else for the rest of my day. It's a television! It's in colour!
Even the Doctor's pride and joy has been treated to a makeover.
Whereas once it looked like it was a studio, now it really doesn't. It looks like it's been flying around space forever.
The TARDIS, the Dalek, the theme tune, the TARDIS sound effect. I mean, I feel very responsible towards the old series of Doctor Who because I love it. And so I'd be absolutely mad to interfere with that past. Those icons should stay intact, and I'm so delighted we didn't change one of the fundamental principles. All the basic rules are still there, because if you were going to fiddle with the basic rules, you might as well do a new series.
The interior of the TARDIS, from a technical point of view, and for Doctor Who fans, who are legion, it is a an important area. And on this production, we've really gone for it. The design team have created a massive space.
I was so overwhelmed by the size, the scale of it, how beautiful it was as well. And you know, there are no limits in that TARDIS. We can do anything in that thing.
Right. Where do you want to start?
The inside's bigger than the outside.
Yes.
Sailing.
Yeah.
It's quite daunting at first for Rose. And obviously, it's a completely alien experience. It's something she's never seen before.
I've loved playing him, and I love taking part in the basic essence and message of the series, which is it's a short life, seize it and live it as fully as you can. Care for others, be respectful of all other life forms, regardless of colour or creed. To be part of that has been fantastic.
It's really slick and the music's fantastic, isn't it? It's really good.
So you can forget Buffy, that's all gone now. Doctor Who lives.
It's an adventure. You used to say at the Radio Times, Doctor Who, an adventure in space and time. That's all it is.
Ready for this?
Here we go.
History.
Trust me, you don't want to miss it. The brand new Doctor Who starts tonight at 7 here on BBC One. And also new to Saturday nights, it's hot, it's happening, it's Strictly Dance Fever with Graham Norton next.